Welcome, ladies and gents, to the launch of a new Husqvarna held at the famously picturesque town of Hazyview in Mpumalanga. People arrived, signed on, and were then fed drinks, because nothing gets a crowd merry like a few drinky poos. And merry they were indeed, as Husqvarna presented this. It's the new Norden 901 Expedition. In many ways, it is the same as the standard Norden. It has a 889cc parallel twin motor pushing 105 horsepower and 100 Newton meters of torque. The frame is a chromium molybdenum steel unit with the motor as a stressed member. The suspension comes from WP, of course, and the whole thing weighs in at 211 kilograms dry. However, as the name suggests, this is a version designed to head out into the unknown. And for that, Husqvarna has had to make some additions. It starts with some squiggly lines on the tank that represent contours on a map, the sort of contours that represent both challenges and also a lot of fun. At the back are two model-specific soft carry bags that are standard on this bike. The choice of soft bags instead of hard panniers is because they are less likely to break when expeditioning into the unknown. There's more that comes on the standard Expedition. There is a center stand for when the bike needs to stand on its center, and a 4mm aluminium bash plate that looks like it was borrowed from a battle elephant. These are of course designed to make sure that you won't need help when crossing new frontiers. But all that happened the next morning, when morning happened, and everyone gathered at a line of freshly lined up expeditions. And so the riding began into some of the greatest terrain motorcycle expeditioning can happen. Of course, that leads us on to the next bit of equipment that comes standard on the Expedition, an extra riding mode.
Okay, so as you can see, we're on a dirt road. There it says street mode. I'm not happy with that, so let's go. Here, motorcycle ride mode. Street, it's not raining, let's not go rain. It's off-road, but even better than that is explorer mode. There we go.
What this does is give the rider more control, literally.
There's a lot of giggles there. That's a lot of giggles. Now you'll notice if you look over there, the traction control MTC is still on. And most people are like, how could you? You're on a dirt road. But you can actually ride with it on, and more so if you look over here, that's in Explorer mode, that's the slip factor. It's the amount I quite like that, slip adjustments. It's not like, how much traction control? No, slip. How much do you want it to slip? I want it to slip a lot, but not enough for me to crash. So what you do is you just use the handlebars, the buttons, and there we go. I'm going to go down to 3, 2, if you're very daring, 1, 2 is more than enough. And what it does is, quite frankly, you will not notice that it's on. Most of the time, you'll not notice that it's even on. It'll slip, it'll slide, you'll wheel spin, you'll look like Travis Pastrana, or whoever it is. And except when you get to the point where it overdoes, where you overdo it. You know that bit where you completely run out of talent, which for people like me happens all the time. At that point, the electronics will cut in and then stop you crashing. But up until then, you look like the greatest rider on the earth. It's a lovely little cheat code.
Naturally, an expedition won't get too far if the riders get lost, freeze to death, or have their heads screwed off. And Husqvarna have considerately thought of these things, which is why the Expedition also comes standard with a GPS bracket, elegantly made heated grips and a seat, and a screen that has ambitions of becoming a skyscraper.
The screen on this thing is fantastic, it really is. I think some of the taller riders might still kind of get nipped by it. Earlier on, I was riding on the tar roads with the group, and I completely forgot that my visor was open. I just forgot, and I didn't really notice. That's excellent.
And then there's the matter of suspension that, dare we say, was a bit of a sore point on the standard Norden, which was more tuned for flat gravel roads than the rutted trails we found ourselves on. For the Expedition, Husqvarna have added an extra 20mm of travel to both the front and rear suspension, plus an extended reservoir to the rear shock for more consistent damping.
Now on the normal Norden, on some of these roads, it's been a lot of rain. A lot of them are kind of rutted and washed out a bit. I would have noticed. You know, you hit some of the big ones, it does bottom out. The Norden does pretty well on off-road, but the big bumps you will. With this extended suspension, honestly, it's never been a problem. It's really never been a problem, and it's all really easily adjustable, so if you have a little bit of know-how, you can just turn up the preload a little bit and you'll never have a problem.
Like the standard Norden, the Expedition has a two-way quick shifter that works superbly on the up change, and while the down changes can be a bit sticky at times, it's mostly good, especially on roads that are a little less Expedition-ish.
On the tar, this thing is a gem. It's amazing what they've done these days, how they've managed to make motorcycles that were formerly sort of off-roadish so good on the road. The suspension works well, you can ride hard, you can ride everything. Even the tires, these adventure tires, it's amazing how well they stick on the tar. I absolutely love it.
The motor is an absolute peach, especially in the mid-range. And while the seat height is taller than the standard model, it's not enough to make you giddy. Plus the seat is a lot more comfortable than other adventure models by the KTM group. Overall, it's a good motorcycle, and good for expeditions because it brings a bit of everything, but mostly it brings a peace of mind.
This bash plate now, I've used it once, or I felt it hit something once, and it's not something you really sort of notice, but it does kind of give you peace of mind with your motorcycle that you can go over some of the rougher stuff, and should it, bottom out or hit or deck, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's just, there is that lovely peace of mind. It does mean you can try a bit more. You can try a bit more and a bit less worry. And, motorcycling is all about not worrying. So it's just a little bit less stress in your life. I love that. Center stand, same thing. It's just less worry. You've got bags to carry luggage that are not going to particularly fall off. Less worry. That's the whole thing about this bike. It's less worry.
And then there's the nature of the bike itself.
Also, this is sort of the, dare I say, mid-range, although it's nearly 1,000 cc's, mid-range motorcycle. It's, expedition. I mean, it's going off into the unknown. You're not quite sure where you're going to go. When you buy this thing, you're not sure where you're going to go with it. And a bike like this is better. This sort of range is better for that because, the big 1290s and whatever have you, the big 1250 GSs, you can't quite go everywhere. And you got the smaller bikes, I mean, they're brilliant. They will go everywhere, just not, quickly. So if you want to go somewhere quickly and you want to go nearly everywhere, you want something like this. Yeah, you want something like this, definitely.
There we have it. Peace of mind adventuring. For a price of 279,699 Rand.